Welcome to part 1 of the Ultimate Five Nights at Freddy's tier list, where I will be ranking every Five Nights at Freddy's game, both mainline and fan games. I don't think there has ever been a video game franchise that has had the amount of fan games that FNAF has had. As a matter of fact, hold on, how many fan games are there? Let me go to Game Jolt real quick. Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh dear God.
There's more. No.
Okay, GTA 6 will be out by the time I'm done with all 10,000 plus of these games, so I will just be ranking the top 100 FNAF games, aka 100 FNAF games I just randomly chose. So, Five Nights at Freddy's 1. The horror aspect of this game is, I would say it still holds up, I'm gonna be honest. Plus, I mean, this is where it all started, so the first game was just revolutionary to indie horror games. This is definitely going on S tier as one of the best FNAF games, the first one. FNAF 2. Okay, at one point, this was my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game ever. Like, you have to deal with more animatronics. I really do like the designs of the toy animatronics. I still do. And I like how there's, you know, more unique mechanics than its predecessor. So yeah, I'm definitely putting this at one of the best FNAF games too. FNAF 3. Okay, so in this game, we were introduced to the infamous Springtrap, aka William Afton, but we didn't know it was William Afton until later on in the games. Springtrap, honestly, like, he just becomes such a joke now, honestly, because like bro, like at one point he was like one of the best villains ever, and now he's just kind of used just for literally just to be milked. So oh my gosh, like there are so there are so many traps in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. You have Spring Trap, you have Burn Trap, you have Glitch Trap, you have freaking whatever this is. Like, honestly, I thought they were all Springtrap. I really did. I thought they were all Springtrap. But as for FNAF 3 itself, though, I still kind of like it. Less things. I really feel like there's like way less things you have to worry about in FNAF 3 as opposed to FNAF 1 and 2. So yeah, I'll just put this on good. Well, no, I'll actually put this on great because we actually did get, you know, more of the lore of FNAF through the mini games, much like with FNAF 2. So I'll give it credit for that. FNAF 4, this was the scariest game in the franchise, probably, because this is because FNAF 4 is mainly a sound-based game. So if you listen to it wrong, or maybe if the game bugs, I don't know, you're screwed. And I remember how freaking scary and I remember how freaking scary the jump scares were when I first saw it. Oh my gosh. It's still also one of my favorite FNAF games. So yeah, definitely going on scariest FNAF games. And also it introduced us to the Bite of 83, which at first was universally thought.
The Bite of 87?
Honestly, I thought that too, Mark. But no, it was the Bite of 83. The Bite of 87 happened in FNAF 2. I'm not sure when that was explained. That was probably in the books, but I haven't read the books, so I mean, except for the Silver Eyes, even though I don't remember much from the Silver Eyes. But anyway, yeah, it was in FNAF 2, and I think Mangle did the Bite of 87, I think, I don't know. But either way, yeah, so it introduced us to quite a few things. And also I heard that Scott recently actually revealed what was in the box at around the end of the game. So I didn't watch the interview yet, but I definitely will right after I make this video. Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Oh my gosh, I remember the freaking teasers for this game. Oh my, I remember being so freaking hyped for it. Oh gosh. Now, okay, in retrospect, I'm just gonna put this on good. I was gonna put it on mid, but no, I'm just gonna put it on good. So one thing to take away from this game, FNAF Sister Location had the first canon jump scare from I think night 3, I think, was like the only canon jump scare in the entire franchise. Like when you think about it, because right after your jump scare by Foxy, I think it's in night 3, you're suddenly in this mask or whatever it is, and well, apparently you didn't die. You probably just got knocked out or something, I don't know. But yeah, so really the Funtime Foxy jump scare was like the only canon jump scare in the entire franchise. So that was something interesting to know. I don't really see me replaying Sister Location. Now, I will tell you it is definitely, like, visually, it's one of my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's games. Like, still, it's still one of my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's games. And also, it's from what I remember, I think you play as either William Afton himself, or maybe I think Michael Afton. I think it was theorized that you're playing as Michael Afton in this game. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really remember, but yeah. So that's what that game was about. Despite everything, though, I actually kind of found it a little fun still. Yeah, I'm definitely put it on yeah, good. Also, I like how Sister Location is like the only Five Nights at Freddy's game. Like, there's no Night 6. I mean, sure, there's Custom Night, but it's not exactly canon. It's just there. So yeah, Sister Location was like the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. Five Nights at Freddy's 6 Pizzeria Simulator. This was also a game that, well, for one, didn't have a custom night. I'm just not realizing that. But also was actually a Five Nights at Freddy's game. There was no Night 6 either. This was definitely one of the best FNAF games. The little twist at the end when we realized that the guy that was doing the voice lines was actually Henry Emily, who was working with Afton, you know, with Fazbear Entertainment, before they kind of parted ways. But that was just a really cool, but really the whole entire ending of the game was just so freaking cool. Like it was a really good send off to like the franchise. It was a pretty good send off to the franchise. Thing is, like, FNAF was actually supposed to, FNAF ended like 3 times. It ended with, you know, with FNAF 3 when Fazbear's Fright burned to the ground and all that stuff. So it really kind of ended with that. FNAF 4 was first titled The Final Chapter, remember? But then now it's just called, well, FNAF 4 because there was no final chapter at all. It was just FNAF 4. And then Sister Location kind of came out of nowhere, even after Scott said that he wasn't going to make another Five Nights at Freddy's game. But hey, here we go. And we even got some more. So we have more lore to discover. And then, you know, FNAF 6 came out, and then yeah, that felt like a real ending to the franchise. And what really made it feel like FNAF 6 was the last game to the story, we had Ultimate Custom Night, which was essentially William Afton's own personal hell. I'm definitely putting this on best FNAF games. S tier. I'm not sure who else beat 50/20 mode other than Dawko, but oh my gosh, this was pretty cool. Also those little cutscenes with Freddy and the gang in school, in like high school or something, or whatever that was, those were corny but funny at the same time. It was just weird. But yeah, I really did enjoy this one though. Next up we have Help Wanted, the VR Five Nights at Freddy's game. One of the best things to come out of the FNAF franchise. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I want to go back to it though, because, well, I mean, I might go back to it. It was really fun, but really freaking scary. And I'll remember watching Mark's first Five Nights at Freddy's video, and he was saying like this would be like 10 times scarier if you were controlling the cameras with like an Oculus Rift or something. Well, hey, look, about I think like 6 or 7 years later, you have Help Wanted, where that's what you're pretty much doing. But it's just so cool, dude. Oh my gosh, yeah. Help Wanted is definitely going on one of the best. FNAF World, I completely forgot about this one. This one I think came out like right after, or not right after, but like sometime after the 4th installment of the series. I'm gonna be real, I actually like this one. I actually remember I was trying to do a walkthrough of this like I think back in 2017, 2018. I think it was 2017. No, it was 2018. I'm pretty sure it was 2018. But like the reason why that video wasn't, it was like a 42-minute video. It was gonna be edited, obviously, but like the only reason why I didn't upload it was because for some reason the video was in like a different hue, and I just didn't really know how to fix it at the time. I could probably easily fix it now, but it's lost media. But anyway, I actually did enjoy this. I thought I wasn't going to enjoy the game. I thought it was just gonna be some random cash grab, but no, I actually enjoyed it. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I'm gonna put it on good. Freddy in Space. No disrespect to Scott, but I'm just gonna put this on mid here. Freddy in Space 2. This game was made, I think, because, okay, at first the game was made for Matt Pat's St. Jude charity stream, but I think the full game released like sometime after that. This one was good. Great, actually. I'll put this on great. This definitely B tier. I'll put this on great. I actually like the game. Also, that freaking gigantic Chica animatronic just still freaks me out to this day. Five Nights at Freddy's AR Special Delivery. The mobile Five Nights at Freddy's game that came out right after Help Wanted. Honestly, did not care for this game whatsoever. I really didn't. I thought it was cool at first. Looking back, I really don't. I really just don't care about the game anymore. And also, I heard that the game actually, like a few months ago, like I think it's online service or whatever, shut down. Or no, the online service is shut down. I don't even know if there was an online service. No, like the game, like fully shut down. Like I don't think you can actually get it on the Play Store anymore. I'm gonna be real, I didn't really care all that much, honestly, because that was probably my least favorite FNAF game in the entire franchise. So yeah, this is definitely going on mid. I'm not gonna put this at worst because I actually did like it at one point, but you know, just in retrospect, I don't really care for it that much compared to the other FNAF games. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, the least scariest FNAF game in the entire franchise. Okay, visually though, this was my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's game. Visually. Like imagine if the Pizzaplex was real. Oh my gosh, I would go there every Friday. Yeah, but so okay, now I'm not gonna lie, there were some parts of the game that was actually pretty creepy. I'm not gonna lie to you, or even like some of the animations that were actually, you know, kind of creepy, especially like when they like when you hear the footsteps and you hear someone coming near you. So it's like it puts you in a state of panic. So it's like, oh frick, I gotta go. So yeah, those are like the only scary parts of the game. The only thing I heavily did not like about the game was how they brought back Springtrap or Burn Trap. How many traps are there? Thing is, when I saw the trailer and I saw, like, you know, that hand, like it was one of the trailers where, like, at the end, it showed like a hand being, like, you know, shown. What I thought that was gonna be like Nightmare Bonnie or probably even Springtrap. I was right, sort of. It wasn't Nightmare Bonnie, so obviously that's a no. But it was Springtrap, but it wasn't any kind of Springtrap. It was, well, you know, I just said it, Burn Trap. I think the name was revealed, I think sometime after the game released, but everybody thought it was Springtrap, so yeah. But thing is though, once I saw that, I was just like, what? Like, bro died, bro got burned down twice in FNAF 3 and in FNAF 6. And then you had Ultimate Custom Night, which pretty much proved that he was dead. And I guess it was theorized that we were playing as William Afton. So not exactly proved, it was just a theory. I'm resisting the urge to okay. So like that was just kind of weird that we just found him in the game again. I don't get that dude. Why are y'all milking him so much? He is dead. Like at this point, just throw him in a black hole or something. But anyway, I was thinking Security Breach was either FNAF about 40 years later or maybe a different universe. Had to have been, because there is no way the animatronics are so advanced to the point where they can literally interact with people, like realistically. Now sure, we had that Glamour Rock Freddy animatronic from PAX West that would interact with people. I think I even saw Ducko give it a hug. That was so wholesome. So I mean, it's possible, but like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'll just put this on good. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin. This was a great DLC. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm still kind of thrown off by that cliffhanger. But yeah, I did think this was a really good DLC, because I didn't care for Security Breach. Visually it looked awesome, like freaking incredible. Oh my gosh. But story wise, I really didn't care. I didn't really care for it that much. But Security Breach Ruin though was a pretty good, like, small little sequel ish to the game. So yeah, definitely, I'll put it on great. FNAF Security Breach Ruin 2. This was a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, obviously, because there actually isn't a Ruin 2, but imagine. So this one was, I think you had to, so apparently Cassidy didn't die. She somehow survived the elevator falling to the ground, and yeah, she was just trying to get out of the pizzeria. The fan game didn't last that long, but I did kind of like it. I'll put it on good. Freddy in Space 3, Chica in Space. So this was a troll game, kinda. Like it was advertised as the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, the game, but it was actually just Chica in space. But I still thought it was really good though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I actually thought it was good. And we even got like a teaser at the very end of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, so that was also really cool. I'll put this on great. I like this. I like this one. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. See, look, I saw that some people didn't like this one because they felt like it was only mini games. Like there was no actual, like, you know, night 1, night 2, night 3, night 4 thing, like much like with Help Wanted. Honestly, I didn't really care that much. I really didn't. Now, probably what I would have preferred something like that, maybe, probably, maybe, but I liked it for what it was. So yeah, I did like the sequel so much, and I was still so freaking hyped when I realized that they were just that Steel Wool and was just randomly gonna put out a Help Wanted 2. I was just crazy. Now I would say though that FNAF 2, that Help Wanted 2, Steel Wool, like the jump scares in Help Wanted 2 looked way better animated, if that makes sense, than FNAF, than Help Wanted. Like in Help Wanted, it was just like in your face, like ah. And FNAF 2, it actually had some movement, you know, like it's like some actual you know, wild movement. So I did like that little improvement that they made. I'm probably not gonna put this on one of the best, but I'll definitely put this on great. Because I actually do agree with, like, you know, like why not have like a night 1, night 2, night 3 thing instead of it just being like mainly mini games. Now, actually, I did really like the ending though, or the endings. I think there was multiple endings. But I did like the Princess Quest ending, and then I think it showed Vanny at the end too with Glitch Trap. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it was really cool though. It really was really cool. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna put it on great. One of the best FNAF games, definitely. Okay, now for the fan games. Five Nights at Candy's. This was definitely one of the best Five Nights at Freddy's games of its time. I think the first game came out in either 2015 or I think it was 2015. I think like around late 2015. I think I don't remember. If it wasn't late 2015, it was definitely around that time, like around 2015. I still really like this one. I like the remastered version too, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that later on. Yeah, this is the first one. In retrospect, it's just gonna go to good, but I really do still like the OG game though. Five Nights at Candy's 2. I would put this on mid, but it actually wasn't entirely bad. I still like it, honestly. I really do still like it. And also, one thing about the Five Nights at Candy's series, this is still, honestly, in my opinion, probably, I think Five Nights at Candy's was like one of the first, or I think the first Five Nights at Candy's game that had like its own version of the original Five Nights at Freddy's lore. Like, instead of playing as Mike Schmidt, you're playing as this woman named Mary Schmidt, who probably could have been a non-canon sister to Michael Schmidt. So that was a cool touch. And also the fact that Five Nights at Candy's, the story for Five Nights at Candy's, at least in the first game, it essentially takes place after the closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the one with the toy animatronics. So this takes place after FNAF 2. So that's cool, and it makes sense because why else would the animatronics look like this? Five Nights at Candy's 3. I remember hearing some things about like this being like a really overrated game. It's not overrated at all, honestly, in my opinion. It's actually probably the best one in the trilogy. So this one kind of plays almost like the lore from FNAF 4. The only difference is you're only dealing with two animatronics. It's the rat and the cat, you know, like very demonic versions of them. So I did like the designs of the monster animatronics, and also the design of the room too. Like I'd say it was pretty unique for a FNAF game. So I would definitely put this on. And also much like FNAF 4, it pretty much relies mainly on sound most of the time. The only thing that's different is that it has this little tape player that you would pretty much have to use, I guess, to keep calm, I guess. So now I really did like it though. I'm definitely putting this on one of the scariest FNAF games. Also, one thing I will say, I know I have like a tier that says A tier for scariest FNAF games and S for best FNAF games. One thing I want to say about that, the reason why it's like that is because just because a game that I'm gonna rank here, it was utterly scary, that doesn't mean it was actually good, like gameplay wise or maybe design wise or something like that. Like or maybe not design wise, that might not really matter if we're talking about scariest. Like just get like if it was bad gameplay, if it was like bad or just kind of mid gameplay wise, or pretty much just anything that doesn't have to do with like the design of the animatronics or the rooms or wherever environment that you're at, it's just gonna be on scariest FNAF fan games or FNAF games. I keep saying fan games. It doesn't have to be just fan games, but I mean that is what we're dealing with right now though. So yeah, hopefully that makes kind of a little bit of sense. Five Nights at Candy's Remastered. There are a couple of jump scares from the first game that I like a tad bit better than the remastered version of the jump scares. Overall though, really good remaster, and I did really like the little teaser for Five Nights at Candy's 4 at the very end. I don't really think we're gonna get a Five Nights at I really don't think at this point we're gonna get a Five Nights at Candy's 4, because I remember reacting to the trailer all the way back in 2018, the transmission trailer, when Scott announced the FNAF Fanverse initiative. I think he did say that Emil Malka would make Five Nights at Candy's 4. We still haven't really gotten anything, so I don't know. Hopefully sometime in the future he'll come back and finish the game. I don't know, we'll see. Five Nights at Treasure Island. Oh my gosh, I have never seen like Five Nights at Treasure Island is definitely one of the most popular Five Nights at Freddy's games of all time. Like probably even more popular than Candy's, maybe even Joy of Creation. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because I have never seen a fan game, no matter what the franchise is, I have never seen a fan game with fan games. Like I can't tell you how many Five Nights at I can't tell you how many Five Nights at Treasure Island fan games there are. Oh my gosh. Now the first game, I'll just put it on good, because and also I think Five Nights at Treasure Island was like the first Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. I thought Five Nights at Candy's was the first one, but not, or at least like one of the first. I think Treasure Island was like one of the first Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. So so that's probably one of the reasons why it's so popular. But yeah, Five Nights at Treasure Island 2 Original Revamp. I think this was one of the FNAF of the Five Nights at Treasure Island fan games, because I thought this was made by Radiance, but it's not. I'm just gonna put it on mid. It wasn't bad, it was just mid. And then again, it's a really old FNAF fan game, so I'm not gonna be too harsh about it. Five Nights at Treasure Island 2020 remake, which was just called Treasure Island. Definitely a great remake. Really good remake. Oblitus Casa. I don't remember what that meant in English. I think that means just abandoned house or something. This was I think a sequel to the remade version of Treasure Island. I think. I don't remember if it actually is, but oh my gosh, this was definitely one of the scariest Five Nights. I would actually put this on best, but I remember it being like just really hard to beat. Yeah, I'm definitely put this on one of the best FNAF fan games, definitely. And I swear that part when it had like a Mickey looking animatronic who I think the name was like Mother. It was just staring like down your soul. I did not want to look at that, because I knew that would be just ingrained into my brain for like the next 5 years, and I would not be able to sleep at all. Like my sleep schedule will be even worse than it is now, all because of that. A Shadow Over Freddy's. I remember people saying that this was like the scariest Five Nights at Freddy's game, especially like at the time. They weren't wrong. They definitely were not wrong. Five Nights at Treasure Island: The End of Disney. Okay, this was an official, I think, sequel to Five, or maybe not a sequel, but like it was just another game, because I remember Markiplier playing this, and I think he said that the developer said that that this was his last attempt at making a Treasure Island game. Now, so I think this was like an actual like remake to the first game or sequel. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't remember. The title screen to this, when I first saw it, it was very freaking creepy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You just see Mickey like like you're freaking angry or something. I'm gonna put it on good. The Joy of Creation Reborn. Great. This was great. I thought this was one of the scariest FNAF games ever. I was wrong. Not saying it wasn't scary, but yeah, it was It was really good. FNAF Juniors. This was an unexpectedly pretty good game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't really have much to say about it. I didn't really have any like, any lore to like, get into. It was just really scary. I just remember it being really good. Fazbear Entertainment Project Pitfall. So I think this was like a game that was made in like, what, 5 days, I think. And it was for a challenge by some FNAF YouTuber. I don't remember who, but I just remember that this game took like, I think 5 days to make, and that pretty much showed. It was very freaking creepy though, because it featured the FNAF Juniors animatronics. So I thought that was cool. Like we got like a little 3D, or not 3D, but like, free roam Juniors game. So I thought that was pretty cool for a game for a game that was made in 5 days. I mean, you can tell that it was only made in 5 days, but if the developer had a whole lot more time to do this, like actually, I'm pretty sure the game would really stick out from the rest. It has a lot of potential. The Joy of Creation story mode. Yeah, so for people that watch my channel, I was not able to beat this whatsoever. But I was really just revisiting the game. Like I've seen what the game was about, like the entirety of it. It's definitely one of the best FNAF games ever, and definitely one of the most unique FNAF games ever. FNAF 2 Reimagined. This is a game that I played on the channel a month, or actually a couple months ago now, almost. Wow. This was I'm still tripping by the fact that this was made in Roblox. Like I've been looking at freaking Roblox games. But I've been looking at these FNAF Roblox games, and oh my gosh, they are a humongous step up from what FNAF games used to be on Roblox. Oh my gosh, there's such a huge step up. I don't know what's been happening in the past, I think 5 years, that I just haven't been playing any FNAF tycoons or whatever, from the games, but like, oh my, from Roblox. But oh my gosh, this is just a huge freaking step up. So yeah, this was definitely one of the best. But like, this is like, as I said in the description of part 2 of my walkthrough of this, if I was hosting some sort of like Five Nights at Freddy's fan game Oscar, this would definitely be like a candidate. Five Nights at Freddy's Plus. So so I'm really ranking the one that was made by Lost Paul Play, because the original one that was gonna be made by, I think, what was his name, by the original developer. Well, that was canceled because of his remarks about security breach, which honestly is just so freaking stupid of why that was. Honestly, like, what the heck, dude. Now I am like looking back at the one at the finished version made by Lost Paul Play. I'm just so disappointed with it, honestly. It had a lot. Like, it really does have a lot of potential. It really does. It has a lot of potential. It's really cool. It's scary. Like, I'll put this on one of the scariest ones. It is really scary. Yeah. And the designs mostly look really good. It's really well polished. The only thing that was very scummy about the game was how the developer used an AI voice of Scott Cawthon to play for the phone calls during the nights. I'm thinking, like, you could have either hired a person to do the calls, or you could have did the calls yourself. You didn't need to use an AI voice for that. That was just so scummy. Like, why didn't you do that? So yeah, that was just, I don't know why he did that. Five Nights at Freddy's Aftermath. So this was, I think, the first game the developer created. This was the aftermath of a security breach. I don't know. I don't really know what it was. I'm not gonna put it on mid, because this was the developer's first game, so I'm not gonna judge too harshly. I'll just put it on good. I did kind of enjoy it though. Like, it kind of gave me glitched attraction vibes, which I will be ranking next. Okay, so I just realized that I forgot to put the glitched attraction onto this tier list. But if it was on here, I would definitely put it on one of the best Five Nights at Freddy's games, though. Like, I really love the idea of Five Nights at Freddy's escape rooms. Like games like those do have a lot of potential, honestly. The Graveyard Shift at Freddy's, still definitely the most unhinged Five Nights at Freddy's game ever. Like one of the most. I still remember the freaking title screen music. In fact, it wasn't really music at all. It was just very corrupted. Like, and I do remember, like, if you stay at the intro screen, the title screen too long, it'll show like this blood, like some sort of Freddy animatronic. That low-key looks like a Freddy animatronic that you would see in like FNAF VHS tapes, with like bloodshot eyes. It was just creepy as frick, and I think the game would just crash. So yeah, and it would, and yeah, so the game was made like the intro screen was made like that for a reason, and yeah, I like it was made like that to make it to make the game feel, you know, like you're getting hacked or something. Like it makes it feel like it's some sort of malware or something. Like it adds to the scary feeling, which I can kind of understand that. The game itself was kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie to you, and low-key just really confusing. At least at one point, I kind of got the hang of it. It was just a lot. At the time when I was playing it, at least, if I go back to the game now, I'm probably not gonna feel the same way. But yeah, it was definitely one of the scariest and definitely one of the most unhinged Five Nights at Freddy's games. Those Nights at Rachel's. This game I think came out in 2016. And I think it was also made by the developer of the Joy of Creation trilogy. And I think his name was Nixon. Yeah, this was definitely great. And really, it was a really unique Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, especially at the time. Five Nights at Freddy's Simulator. There was a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's Simulator games, but this one specifically was pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah, I like that one. I really did. Baby's Nightmare Circus. This was interesting. So it's like a FNAF. It's just FNAF 4 mixed with Sister Location. I like, okay, that was cool. Now one thing that's like about the game itself that's cool is that like I think this was like the first, or I think like one of the first fan games that wasn't like just another FNAF game. Like it wasn't just another FNAF, like FNAF 1 Pizzeria and all that stuff game. Like this was a Sister Location fan game. We don't get a lot of that. We really don't. Like that's one thing that I found that was really cool. I liked it. Circus Baby's Diner, another pretty good Sister Location fan game. Super FNAF. I actually really like this one. I actually like. I'll definitely put this on great. I would put this on one of the best, but I'm probably not gonna do all that. Now I heard there was like a sequel to this, which is not on this list, mainly because I did not know that there was a sequel until after I put all the images onto this tier list, so that's not on here. But I really did like Super FNAF. It was fun. It actually was pretty fun. It tied a lot of the stuff from the original lore into this and just made it more wholesome in a way. I really like that. And also it's like, come on, you can never go wrong with Super Nintendo type graphics, honestly. Like it's something about retro games I just freaking love. Like sometimes even better than modern games. Ballington. So the developer of this game, I think made like a lot of FNAF VHS tapes. I think some really popular ones, and he pretty much put those models into the FNAF game, which is a pretty unique thing to do. Honestly, like imagine if some of the models from a lot of these FNAF VHS tapes were in were in the actual games. That's a pretty cool take. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'll put this on great just for that idea. FNAF in real time. This game had so much potential, but I think it was like the whole game was like just shut down and just canceled because of some drama that was going on with the developer and some freaking kids on Twitter. It was just, oh gosh, I don't know if the game was officially canceled because of that, but it just went down so bad, and oh gosh, I really wanted to play it. Now I think the demo is still out. Like I can probably still play that, but like the full game is probably not going to happen. I mean, hopefully he'll come back sometime in the future. Like the developer of the game will come back sometime in the future and recreate and create the rest of FNAF in real time. But it was such a good idea. Like imagine, just imagine if FNAF was like that. Really, I mean that'll probably be very boring at times. Not even gonna lie to you. But at the same time, really cool. Like, and I'm mainly talking about like the 6 hour real time thing that was released a couple of, or I think about a month ago now. I wanted to do that, but then I was like, no, because, well, for one, that might be boring. But at the same time, that was a really cool concept. I'm not sure why that has not been thought before, or at least not. It's probably been thought before, but I don't think it has been done before though. So that's something I really liked about this. I'll definitely put this on one of the best FNAF games. Fazbear Nights, a game that I did not finish, but really loved. I'll put this on great. This was really just a recreation of the first FNAF game, but it's free roam. And I really loved the design of the entire pizzeria. Like the developer did a really good job with it. Abandoned. I'm just gonna put this on mid. I did kind of like the design of the animatronics, but it was the game was mainly just another remake of the first Five Nights at Freddy's game. And I mean, the game is called Abandoned, so that would explain why the design of the pizzeria literally looks, well, abandoned. Like, who would actually go there? Like, come on now, it just looks so gross. Yeah, so this is just going on mid. No disrespect to the developer, but yeah, I'll just put this on mid. Now, the only thing that was actually really scary about the game was the mini game with the puppet. I think that was a band. I think that was this game that had that mini game with the puppet. Case animatronics, aka Outlast, but it's FNAF, or at least that's what it felt like. The freaking okay. All of the design of the animatronics and the building aside, the voice acting was so funny. It was just so, like, the guy voicing the thing was just so monotone. Like the guy in the game was acting like he's done a lot of the things that's gonna happen in the game before, you know? He didn't feel anything when stuff was going on. Like, he was just like, whoa, what is that? Why'd the lights go out? Holy crap, what happened? Oh no. Like in both the first Case game and the second Case game, it was just so, the acting was just so monotone. Like, it was just so monotone. It was just, oh gosh, it was just so weird. The game itself was okay. Honestly, I'd probably just put it on mid. But the freaking voice acting though, oh my god. I'll put Case 2 on good. The mechanics of some of the animatronics were cool. I'm not sure who gave the animatronics freaking Superman powers.
All right, put your hands in the air.
Like, I don't know why they're so dang strong at all, but yeah, other than that, pretty decent, pretty buggy at times, but overall, I thought it was all right. Like, sure, like, yeah, that one part where you had to, like, I forgot what you had to do, but it had to deal with that one cat animatronic. And you were in this storage room, and you had to get something off of his tail, and you had to lure the owl. You had to do something. I just remember it being very freaking hard to do. You probably know what I'm talking about. You probably don't, but yeah, I'll just put this on good. Clouded Isolation. This one was pretty unique. I'll be honest with that. I really did like this one. Last time I saw it, it was just a demo. I don't know when the full game is coming out. I don't know if the full game even came out and people just haven't played it yet. I don't know. I doubt the game has actually come out, but yeah, I did think it was really good. Matter of fact, no, I'll put it on great. I actually really like this one. Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese. We're gonna rank the remastered version instead. This will go on good. I think the animatronics here are like the ones from like I think the 80s, like back when like showbiz was like huge. So not really much to say about this one. I just thought it was really good. I just thought it was a really good remake. Jolly good show. Okay, I'm not gonna be too harsh about this because the developer was like 13 years old last time I checked when he made Jolly. So I'll just put it on good. Like this takes place, I think during Circus Baby's Pizza World. So yeah, here's another fan game, trying to like connect itself to the official mainline series. This game had quite a lot of mechanics, especially like, you know, the games later on in the series had even more mechanics to deal with. This one really just has the least. But anyway, Really cool. I thought it was really cool. I think this was like one of the only games where like the first night you're immediately like into the mix with a whole lot of things. And it's not like, you know, first night tutorial thing. Like, nah, it's just like as soon as night one starts, you're immediately into it. So yeah, that's one thing that I kind of liked about the game, but disliked about the game at the same time. I'll just put it on good. Jolly 2. I remember this being a tad bit buggy, and also the Foxy minigame not really making much sense, at least when I first saw it. So this one takes place, I'm pretty sure like before Jolly. The first Jolly restaurant took place in 2017. Jolly 2, I think, takes place in the 80s. I think. I thought it was really good. The animatronic designs look cool. I didn't really like how the control shock things took so long to like regenerate. So like, you know, so you can imagine like being in custom night, and then the animatronics are like always at your door, but you have to wait until, you know, the control shock regenerates. I can tell that would be very freaking frustrating. But oh my gosh, that intro though. Like, yeah, I didn't really care for the game all that much, but that freaking intro, oh my gosh. I'll put this on good, and that's mainly because the title screen music carried. Jolly 3, I really did like the intro for this too. It was like a cinematic intro. Like before you started the game. I really like that. Like I believe more fan games should like incorporate something like that. The game itself was all right. Or actually, no, I'd say it was great, honestly. I don't really have much to say about it. Five Nights at Flumpty's, or no, One Night at Flumpty's. This was a pretty unique Five Nights at Freddy's game. Like, there weren't exactly any animatronics. It was really just monsters, cartoony looking monsters. And yeah, so this was a new look to Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. I thought it was really unique, and it still is, honestly. Especially the whole one night thing. So I'll definitely put it on great. It holds up. One Night at Flumpty's 2, about the same thing. I'll put this on great. Five Nights at 39. Okay, so yeah, this was back when FNAF fan games were just kind of silly, but also pretty fun. So Five Nights at 39, this was made by the same creator that made Five Nights before Freddy's. And I heard there was a sequel to that. I didn't know there was a sequel to that. But yeah, this was made by the same developer. I thought that was kind of funny. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought the game was pretty funny. Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear Nights 2. I did not know there was a sequel to Fazbear Nights all this time. Now, I did look at it. I'm not gonna say it was boring, but it so like you had tasks to do, unlike in the first game. Again, it wasn't really boring, but it was just, I really just kind of saw it as like another free roam FNAF game, just with, you know, FNAF 2 animatronics and the FNAF 2 Pizzeria. So yeah, no, I'm not saying it was bad. I did kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did like it. But yeah, I'll just put it on good. No, I'll put it on great. It was just as creepy as Fazbear Nights. Jolly 3 Chapter 2. I remember this being pretty confusing when I first saw it. The only thing that I absolutely hated about the game was the mini game. That was literally, at least it felt like it was like as long as the actual nights in the game, you know? Like that, I don't feel like that should ever be the case in a FNAF fan game. It was just so time consuming. Oh my gosh. That's like the main thing I didn't really care for in a game, honestly. Other than that, great. Final Nights. So this was really buggy, I think. Like around the time it came out. I think it still is. Like if you were to, you know, get back to it. But at the same time, it was pretty unique. So there's this puppet in the game named Brother, I guess. I'm not sure who's the other sibling. Like, I'm not sure who he's the brother to, but yeah, his name is Brother. Overall, I thought the mechanics in this game was pretty unique. I thought it was really good. I would definitely put this on good. It would be great, but it was so buggy, so I'm putting it on good. Final Nights 2. So low-key, the animatronic models in the game look straight out of the Joy of Creation. So you still have Brother. I think you also have Fredbear in there. The mechanics overall was pretty good. I kind of liked its 3D take on the Bite of 83. That was really good, especially at the time. I like how it incorporated that. So yeah, overall, I'll put it on good. Very hard, very freaking hard, but it was really good. Final Nights 3. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the one that I remember the most. The designs of the animatronics. I don't think a lot of people really liked the design because it looked kind of more so goofy and loony than actually like really scary. But honestly, I'll say this. That's kind of I kind of feel like that's kind of what made them scary. Especially like with the right lighting and shading. That could look very freaking scary. Now I did like some of the mechanics in the game. I thought they were pretty unique. And the thing about it is like the game takes place like it takes place in a hospital. So I thought that was pretty unique. It takes place in the game like it takes place like sometime after the Bite of 83. So the crying child, you know, all that stuff. So in the beginning it showed you know, him being rushed to the hospital and everything. The whole title sequence was actually pretty unique for a FNAF fan game. And you know, he wakes up one day or one night, I guess. Yeah, you put into night one just like that. So yeah, so I did like that. I really did like how the developer, you know, integrated that into Final Nights 3. I really did like that. That was cool. And the animatronics themselves just look freaking crazy, honestly. The whole game itself definitely put it on great. I will put it on one of the best, but we'll save that for Final Nights 4. This was definitely one of the best Five Nights at Freddy's games, and definitely the best Final Nights game in the entire quadrilogy. Quadrilogy, is that a thing? Like, you know, like trilogy, or like, you know, trilogy is quadrilogy a thing? What am I saying? So this game was like a combination of all of the previous Final Nights games. It had a little place in some warehouse or something, I don't know, that looked a little similar to the FNAF 2 office. Not FNAF 2, to the Final Nights 2 office. So I thought that was really good. I really did. I thought that was cool. And it even had it to where like I think it was like a mini game or something where you were pretty much playing Final Nights 3 again. And the designs for the animatronics looked a little better than it did in Final Nights 3. Like the Final Nights 3 animatronic models, they looked a little better in Final Nights 4. So I really like that. Something that Final Nights 4 also had was, like, you know, you were in an office in a pizzeria. I really did like the models for Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. One thing I found that was really scary about the game was that you pretty much had to stay still while Spring Bonnie, like one of Spring Bonnie's mechanics is that like he would come into the office and you pretty much have to stay still the entire time while he's just staring at you, and he'll like open his mouth or so he'll do something, I don't know. Like he'll just stare at you and you have to just stare at it. And yeah, he'll go away after a while, and that's probably the thing that really kind of scared me the most, because it's like, so you're just not supposed to do anything? Okay, I guess. So yeah, I would definitely put it on one of the best though. Like I kind of enjoyed it. Now the last night was crazy. Like it had like what do they call it? Like insane Fredbear or insane Spring Bonnie or something. Now that one was kind of hard, but after that, the ending was worth it. Yeah, I liked it. I really liked it. Definitely one of the best Five Nights at Freddy's games. Also, that freaking intro music though. At this point, I'm gonna need to make like a tier list on which game has the best intro music. Pop goes the Weasel. Okay, so here's another game that I forgot to put in this tier list. But if I were to put Pop Goes in this tier list, then I would definitely put it on good. I mean, this is also a pretty old FNAF game, so I'm not gonna be too harsh about it. Like this was back in the olden days, the premature, FNAF fan games were coming out, so not all of them are really good. So yeah, I'm gonna just put it on just good. Pop Goes Arcade. Honestly, I thought this was just boring the last time I checked this out, but the twist, but the endings though that you would get really like shook me. Like, oh frick, what is this? You know, like it was like the endings and like the little twist endings, especially the one with the Shadow Bonnie or whatever that was. That was really cool. And even like the main ending for the game that pretty much teased Pop Goes Evergreen. And oh my gosh, I am telling you, when it teased the Pop Goes Evergreen at the very end, what I thought for some reason I thought like it showed you the office and everything, or whatever it was. I think it was an office. So like what was absolutely freaking cool about it though was like the way how it just transitioned to it, and then suddenly it's like you're part of it. I thought it was like some sort of like demo or something that was just added on to Pop Goes Arcade. You know, if you were to get all the endings. Like, dude, if that was like a straight up like demo being put into a game, I am telling you that would have been the best way to introduce a demo to like a new installment of your franchise ever. Like, not even just in FNAF, like ever. That is the best way to introduce a game. Like you getting all the endings, and it just you know, you suddenly like, you know, you slowly transition to your demo of the game. Like that would be the best way to transition to a game. I'm telling you, just for that, I'm putting it on great. Ultimate Custom Night Plus. So this is a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game that was, well, just Ultimate Custom Night, but I think the animations were a little different, and I think it was a little harder than Ultimate Custom Night. I think not really much to say about it. I'll put it on good. So speaking of Pop Goes Evergreen, I put Pop Goes Evergreen on here. Don't know why I did, because the game's not even out yet, but from what I've seen though, from the teasers and everything, it looks really freaking good. And also Pop Goes Evergreen is actually one of the first games to be in the FNAF Fanverse initiative, so that's cool. That's really cool. So yeah, I really can't wait till Pop Goes Evergreen comes out. Really can't wait for it. I also heard that My Pop Goes released a few days ago. So yeah, that's also really good. Yeah, so far is looking great. Weekends at Fredbear's. Well, this was okay. I do remember this being a tad bit buggy and kind of hard to do. Overall, pretty good FNAF fan game. And also, there are a lot of Fredbear's Family Diner FNAF fan games. Like, dude, we need more like fan games that are like similar to like FNAF 6 or something, or yeah, because there's a lot of FNAF fan games that have to do with Fredbear's Family Diner. Like, can we have more fan games regarding Circus Baby's Pizza World? Like I said earlier, Jollibees. So this game isn't like playable anymore. Like you can't play this game anymore. Same thing for the sequel to this. Honestly, I thought this was kind of mid. Okay, I'm probably not gonna put this on mid. I thought the animatronics were just like, I didn't really like the look of the animatronics at all. I honestly, no disrespect to the developer. I know he probably doesn't really care about the games anymore, because I've heard his remarks about about him just not really caring about FNAF or really any of this anymore. So yeah, but still, I didn't really care for now the game was okay. Like, the game itself was okay, but I didn't care for the animatronic designs. I didn't know Jolly's was an actual restaurant. I did not know that. That shook me when I first realized that, because I was like, oh frick, so do they have the animatronics there, or are those fan made? Yeah, so both Jollibees and Jollibees Phase 2 are just gonna be on. Actually, no, Jollibees Phase 2 was actually pretty good. It had a lot of mechanics, but it was really good. Day Shift at Freddy's. Oh my gosh, that intro still cracks me up. This is definitely one of the best FNAF games. Oh gosh, this was definitely one. I know this is mainly like a joke, but this was definitely like this is really good. And especially its sequel, the Day Shift at Freddy's 2. Honestly, it was good. It was like I don't care. I'm putting this on one of the best fan games. So Day Shift at Freddy's 2, it was like a really jokey game at first, but then like it started to be like more serious and more wholesome around the end. Still a tad bit jokey, but it was actually kind of heartwarming. You know, like getting towards the end of the game. So that's one thing I really like about that. So it was like a mixture of just being like really hilarious, but really heartwarming at the same time in a way. So I'll put this on one of the best FNAF games. Bubba's Diner, definitely putting this on S tier because it was the first fan game that actually had where you were actually equipped with a shotgun and you can actually shoot the animatronics and just leave. Like, come on, that should have been established like in the first FNAF game ever. Like, come on now. Like, screw the animatronics. If I get injured by them, I'm suing y'all. And that's probably gonna be, and them hospital bills are probably gonna cause more than them animatronics. So, yeah, screw you, Fazbear Entertainment. But in all seriousness, though, I didn't really care that much for this game, honestly. No disrespect to the developer whatsoever, but I would put this on mid. Again, not bad, well, okay, I'm not gonna say it wasn't good, so I'll put it on good. The Return to Freddy's. I remember hearing the entire like series. About I remember hearing the lore about this game. It was just I didn't understand it. It was just it did not make sense whatsoever. Like, honestly, worst FNAF game. It had a candy animatronic whose name was actually Sugar. It was, I don't know, man. It was just weird. Honestly, it really was just weird. Now, the Return to Freddy's stories, and also the Return to Freddy's remake were actually really good. So, especially, you know, the Return to Freddy's stories. I'm not sure if that was a sequel to the remake of Return to Freddy's, but yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was a huge step up to the original fan game. I liked it. I also liked the look of the Sugar animatronic. It looked better and a little more unique than, you know, the original one, which was literally just candy without the red dots on the cheeks. Crawl Space, Ultimate Custom Night, but in the vents. Yeah, no. The game actually looked kind of easy. I thought it was pretty cool. Honestly, I thought it was cool. It's the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, I think, where you're not in an office at all. Like, where like you're not in any, like, you know, comfortable environment. Like, you're literally just in the vents. Like, you're not in a house, you're not in an office, you're not in a freaking hospital. like with Final Nights 3, like you're in the vents. Those Nights at Fredbear's New Destiny. Bro, this game was freaking wild. I remember looking at it a lot a while ago. Yeah, so this is a free roam, another Fredbear's Family Diner game. It's free roam, but yeah, I'll just put this on. There's not really much to say about this. I'll just put this on good. If I recall, I think in the game, once it turns 6 a.m., like, you're not really done. Like, you actually once it's 6 a.m., you got to go out the door. So if they kill you, like, even though it's 6 a.m., then, well, yeah, you're pretty much screwed. So that was one thing that I found that was kind of funny about this game. Forgotten Memories, S tier, because this is the first Five Nights at Freddy's game where they actually pay you a lot of money per night. Well, no, I think Bubba's Diner did that too, and also Jolly Bees did that too. I think. Either way, this is another Roblox Five Nights at Freddy's game that I found really well done. Now, if I recall, I think the pizzeria is huge. Like, this game is made for multiplayer. Like, if you did this solo, oh my gosh, it would take you like a freaking hour or two, maybe even longer than that, to beat just night 1 of the game. But hey, they pay well. Gonna put this in great. Fredbear and Friends Left to Rot. Yet another Fredbear's Family Diner fan game. This one was pretty interesting, I would say that. I like how in the tapes it kind of touches on the fact that the animatronics from Fredbear's Family Diner, like the endoskeletons of those animatronics, they were just used for the new animatronics, or so-called new animatronics. Like, at the time, you know, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, you know, the original gang. It kind of, in a way, reminds me of I think the Night 6 ending from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, where it would say like the new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. It's a minor setback. We are confident that we will reopen someday, even if it is with a much smaller budget. Just that right there, much smaller budget. What I was thinking was like, okay, for one, that would kind of explain the timeline in a way, despite some of the confusion with the dialogue of the phone call during the, you know, the nights on FNAF 2, but also would explain the animatronics looking a little lower budget compared to the animatronics of FNAF 1 looking lower budget compared to FNAF 2. So that would explain that. So the little tape in Fredbear's Tarot kind of reminds me of that. Like they changed up the parts, and yeah. And then, you know, the phone guy in FNAF 2 said like, you know, that's, well, I don't think he said that that's what they did, but he did like say that like, you know, like they just didn't go with that because they just looked like the animatronics just looked ugly, so they just put them in the back rooms and then remade the models to make them look super kid friendly. And you have, well, the animatronics here, the FNAF 2 animatronics, the toy animatronics. So yeah, I kind of like how it touched on that. Now as for the game itself, I thought it was all right. Fredbear and Friends reboot. Jeez, there is a lot of Fredbear's Family Diner fan games. Well, actually, okay, this one had the other animatronics in there too. It had you know, Fredbear, Spring Bonnie, and it also had Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. It had everybody else too, including the puppet, which I think the puppet actually was in Fredbear's Family Diner. I think I did really like the voice acting in Fredbear and Friends reboot. I did like it. That's probably the one thing that I actually really liked about this game. Everything else, yeah, I'll put on B tier. That one was really good. Five Nights, No Escape. So this one, I think, if I recall, is a virtual reality fan game of FNAF. It pretty much looks exactly like FNAF Help Wanted in a way. Like it gives you, it pretty much looks almost exactly the same. The only thing different is the animatronics, and of course, some of the mechanics. That's really about it. There's nothing else about this game. It does look fun though. Like it does look fun to play with friends. So I'll put this on good. Five Nights at Freddy's rewritten. I'm probably gonna put this on one of the best Five Nights at Freddy's games, because I think this is the first Five Nights at Freddy's hybrid game. What that means is like it's like both point and click. You know, like your normal point and click FNAF game, but it's also free roam. Like around night 5, you have an objective to do. I think you have to find like Golden Freddy or something. I don't remember exactly what you had to do, but you pretty much had to roam around the pizzeria and yeah, you had to do something. I don't remember exactly, but that was cool. I have never seen a Five Nights at Freddy's game do that. Ever. We need more fan games like that. So yeah, this is going on one of the best. Five Nights at Freddy's Rewritten 87, the sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's Rewritten. So just, you know, taking place in 1987 in the FNAF 2. So don't really have too much to say about this. This was actually pretty hard to beat, or at least it looked pretty hard to beat. I didn't actually play this one. I saw Fusion play this. It looks pretty hard actually when I was looking at it. I'm like, how do you deal with the generator thing? And but then it was, you know, figured out how to do that. But then I was like why does it take so long to, like, you know, regenerate? Because like just imagine being in night 6 and then, you know, stuff like that happens, or like in custom night and something like that. Like that's gonna be dang near impossible. Jeez. Yeah, so I'll just put this on great. I love the design of everything, but yeah, I'll just put it on great. The Cog Forever Spinning. This is definitely one of my favorite Fredbear's Family Diner games visually. I would say this is definitely like one of the scariest Five Nights at Freddy's games. I also heard that this one was a canceled game. I'm not sure if you can actually like play it now, like right now. But yeah, I looked at it and it was like visually probably one of my favorite Fredbear's Family Diner games. Definitely gameplay wise, mechanic wise, Not really much to say about it. I think it's cool. I don't really have that much to say about it, but I would definitely put this on one of the scariest FNAF games ever. Five Nights at Freddy's Survival Crew. This was an official Five Nights at Freddy's Roblox game that actually released last year. I don't think you can still play it though because it was shut down sometime after its release. I'm not sure why it was. I think it might have been because like it was just probably very buggy, or I guess probably I don't know. Something happened. I'm not entirely sure. But I did see Dawko play it. It has potential. It's I'll put it on C tier, but yeah, it has potential. Five Nights Before Freddy's. I mean, if we're talking about Five Nights Before Freddy's, then I'm surprised this isn't a Fredbear's Family Diner fan game. This was probably the week before Mike Schmidt took the job. So okay, cool concept, but didn't really care for the game that much. I didn't see the sequel of the game. I know I talked about that earlier. I didn't really see the sequel of the game, but yeah, I do remember the first game. Yeah, I didn't really care for it that much. Five Nights at Freddy's Nightmare Attacks. This was a Five Nights at Freddy's 4 fan game. This was pretty much FNAF 4 reimagined. I like this. I kind of like this one. I kind of like how it showed what was going on through imagery. So that's something that's really cool. Yeah, so I'll put it on B tier for that. I like that. Jolly Bay. This game was so weird. I thought this was some sort of joke game or something like Jolly Bay. But yeah, so Jolly Bay. I'll just put this on. I don't even know if I want to put it on good. It was just so weird. Screw it. I'll just put it on good. Screw it. Mario and animatronic horror. Okay, I actually really like this. I'm not even gonna lie. I really like this one. I actually now it was only it's only had like a demo. It's never had a full game. Not yet. I think. I really hope there's gonna be a full game to it, like sometime in the future. Like this. So what this is like it takes place during the Mario movie, you know, like it takes place around that time when Mario, like if you've seen the movie, it takes place around that time when Mario and Luigi quit their jobs and they decided to instead, you know, open their own business. And instead of that one family with that dog calling them William Afton, or Dave, I think is what his name was, called them, and yeah, that was their first client, I guess. So yeah, that was fun. But like this fan game oddly just took me back to all of those Mario and Luigi X Five Nights at Freddy's SFMs from back then. I'm not even just talking about the ones from SMG4, like just it really took me back to those like this one was fun. I'm definitely gonna put this on great. The Return to Bloody Nights. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this game from earlier this year when I played it. I'm gonna be real with you, out of all of the Fredbear's Family Diner games, this is definitely my favorite. I could never get through night 6. I beat the main game, but I just never got through night 6. It was just so freaking hard to do. But I really do like the game. It kind of brings back that atmosphere that FNAF 1 had. It's so good. And I heard there was gonna be a sequel to the game. I saw over on Game Jolt that the developer said that the sequel to the game was actually canceled. I think it was due to budget reasons, or maybe something happened. I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully, long story short though, I do hope like maybe sometime in the future he might get back into The Return to Bloody Nights and actually you know, make the sequel. The Return to Bloody Nights S tier. The Freddy Fazbear Checkup. This is definitely going to be on I would put this on one of the best, but there isn't really that much to do, and there really isn't that much of the game, but it is very interesting. I really kind of hope this like that game actually gets expanded more, like maybe you do like a checkup of the toy animatronics or like the Glamrock animatronics. Not sure, we kind of had that with Help 1 and 2 kind of, but honestly, like the way how this game kind of went about it, I like it. Dormitables. This game's history is freaking wild. I'm not even gonna get into the history, especially of the original Dormitables, but the remake was really good though. The animatronic designs of the remake were better than the ones from the original Dormitables. I'll put it on great. When the Light Goes Dim. So this was another Five Nights at Freddy's 4 fan game. I thought this was okay. I did like the animatronic designs. It kind of gave me some Joy of Creation vibes, low key. I thought this was pretty cool. It was only a demo last time I checked. I don't know if the full game's out or if it will ever come out. But yeah, Five Nights at Flumpty's 3. One Night at Flumpty's, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought it was good. I'll just put it on good. I'm not gonna put it on great. I actually did see the entire game. I saw I think I saw Corey play the entire game. Yeah, I thought it was all right. Time in the past. So this was another Five Nights at Freddy's Roblox game. It's free roam, and I don't really have that much to say about it. I'll just put it on. Honestly, it like much like Fazbear Nights 2. You had a lot of objectives to do, and you just had to prevent the animatronics from killing you. I didn't really care for it that much. I would actually probably put it on like mid. Honestly, I really didn't care for it that much. No disrespect to the developer. He did a really good job with the design of the place. In fact, I probably wouldn't even put it on mid. Like it was. Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Revenant. This was a FNAF 3, fan game. I don't really have much to say about this. It was mainly just a FNAF 3 remake, but I will say that freaking puppet was probably the scariest thing in that entire game. Oh my gosh. I'm putting it on. It's C tier. Irritated Minds, Fear of Warehouse. Yeah, so this one was interesting. This was kind of some of the things here kind of reminded me of FNAF 6 in a way. You had to do some tasks on the computer and watch for the animatronics. Now I did like the design of everything, honestly. I thought it was really cool. I don't really have anything specific to say about this game other than the fact that it's going on great. Post Shift 2, supposedly the hardest Five Nights at Freddy's game ever known to men. There was definitely a lot of crap that you had to do in Post Shift. Now, I never seen the first Post Shift game. I just heard a lot about Post Shift 2, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at this. Yeah, it's a lot of crap you gotta do. Like, it might get a little easier, like once you get the hang of it, probably, but I really don't think it is. I really don't think it does. Overall, I did kind of like the designs of the game. I kind of like what the developer was going with some of the cutscenes. Yeah, other than the fact that it was probably the hardest Five Nights at Freddy's game ever. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good. Tealerland. I don't remember exactly what this was about. Really, I do remember like you're playing as this guy who was the owner of the Tealerland Circus. It was him and a few other guys. That's about it though. That's really all I remember about the game. I don't remember exactly. Well, oh yeah, and I also remember around the beginning of the game, as you were going down the ladder, Tealer would appear in places, and if you don't check, then he'll kill you. I will say, I do remember the designs of the animatronics. They did look really, really good. I'm not even gonna lie. Like definitely one of the best designs I've seen in a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. Yeah, so because I don't really remember much about the story, I'll put this on great. Shadows Awaken. So there was only like a demo of this that came out a while ago, but oh my gosh, it looks promising. It looks really promising. So like in the beginning of the game, it has like its own interpretation of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but the designs of everything look new. Like there's a whole playground in the pizzeria. Like you don't really ever see that in any FNAF pizzeria. Yeah, the whole game itself looks very promising. It's actually like, honestly, this looks like it's gonna be, I don't think the game is out yet, but this looks like it's gonna be one of the best Five Nights at Freddy's games ever. Design wise so far. I'm not sure how the animatronics are gonna be. I did see a little bit of the gameplay trailer. It looks like it's gonna have like this FNAF 4-ish type area, but the demo that was released a while ago, you didn't really do too much with it. You were really kind of just exploring everything. Really, you're not really doing much, but so far it looks like it's gonna be one of the best Five Nights at Freddy's games. Five Nights at Rachel's 2 Reloaded. This was a fun little I think April Fool's sequel to those Nights at Rachel's. I did like the nightmarish look of Rachel. It was a pretty fun game. Yeah, I'll put this on C tier. It was pretty good. Project Lockdown, aka Freddy in Space if it was scary, aka In Space with Freddy or Bonnie. So this one was definitely one of the best and probably the most unique, one of the most unique Five Nights at Freddy's games out there. It's not that much. So what it is like, it's literally FNAF in space, and it takes place almost a century after like the mainline Five Nights at Freddy's games. Really cool. Like it takes place in a space station built by Afton. So yeah, he ended up having the budget to make a whole space station. He went from making robots to being the next SpaceX or something. I don't know. But yeah, like that's just freaking wild. Now I joked and said that this is like a Freddy in space, but it's scary. The only thing about this is that Freddy is not in the game. It's only Bonnie and Foxy, I think. The game is pretty hard, I'm not even gonna lie to you, but so cool looking. It is really cool looking. It kind of reminds me of Jason X, where like, you know, you're on a spaceship and like I think Jason was like frozen. He got defrosted and he started to, you know, kill people on the ship. But he looked a little different. I remember he did kind of look a little different though. He looked a little different from what he looked like back in the older Jason movies. But yeah, it oddly reminded me of that in a way. But this is definitely like imagine if we had some other FNAF fan games that were kind of like that one right there. There were some parts about the game that were absolutely getting on my nerves, which was the motion trigger, not the motion trigger, the motion sensor. Like that was so annoying. But and what made it even worse is that the animatronics would run so quickly, especially Foxy. Like you were, which you know, you would expect that. This is Foxy. He can pretty much sprint anywhere and like from like one place to another in like freaking 5 seconds. But yeah, it was such a wild game. Even though it only had like there was only like it wasn't really that big. But I really do hope it gets like expanded upon. Like I really hope there's gonna be like a fan game of this fan game and it gets expanded on more, and it might have like the toy animatronics or maybe more of the original animatronics. Like that would be pretty cool. I would absolutely love that. And that is all 100 plus Five Nights at Freddy's games that I chose. Okay, yeah, I don't think I've seen another fandom that has made fan games look as good as some of the ones that I mentioned in this video. This is like you know, like fan games, like you know, fandoms of, you know, popular franchises. Like I don't think I've ever seen another fandom, I'm sorry, like the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom. It's just so freaking wild, dude. Like just how many just well done games there are here. And I'm actually surprised how some of these fan games don't have fan games of their own, you know? Because like I would love to see like a Five Nights at Candy's free roam game. That would be really cool to do, you know? Like maybe the developer of Fazbear Nights could do the same thing with Candy's Burgers and Fries. Maybe like a little Candy's free roam game. That'd be pretty cool. Or maybe we can probably get some more FNAF hybrids, like, you know, maybe like a little point and click, and then like maybe like one half of it, like maybe like, I don't know, like one half of the game is like point and click, and then the other half of the game is, you know, it's free roam. Or maybe there's like some parts you have to do, or maybe there's like some parts of the game that's free roam that, you know, has to be free roam in order for it to work, and then some other parts of the game you can just, you know, it's just regular point and click. Like it would be cool to have some more games like that, or even as I said, even more games like Project Lockdown. That was definitely one of the best FNAF games I have ever seen, and definitely one of the most unique Five Nights at Freddy's games I have ever freaking laid my eyes upon. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's all 100 plus Five Nights at Freddy's games. Let me know what you guys think about my tier list here. I really do think a lot of the things that I put on like mid, you know, they weren't really that bad. I just didn't really care for them. I mean, this is mainly my opinion. Some of it is objective, some of it is just my opinion. I just wanted to say that. And I probably should have said that in the beginning of the video, but yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. And once again, happy 10-year anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's.